Hello, everyone. Woo, we're doing great. So, we're going live here, and again, I recall with the last live, the comments may show up in a different area here. So, let me just check. I believe we're okay. I'll wait for a few to join. Looks like we have 18 in here. And hi, Robin, Linda, Joyce, thank you. How's our feed working? Pretty good. Yeah, I believe so. It's working great. I'll wait a few moments and let some more come in before I begin, and hopefully I will keep this one rather short without too much rambling. And of course, Femka, with her impeccable divine timing, will let me know when it's enough. Okay. Hello, Brooke, Michelle, Kenton, Lily. Woo! Good to see you here, all of you, and all of the others to join. Okay, so I titled this one The Divine Plan and an update on it, and miscellaneous, and we'll take some questions and we'll answer some, of course. So, the divine plan, it's always going perfect, for it is a divine plan. However, as we all know, patience is an important virtue that was instilled upon you all to various degrees. And these are one of the times that you can see why that the patience is very important. So as we go forward, there are scheduled um, divine events that occur, but the way they are scheduled is not per se on an exact linear date nor time. It's when the conditions are right. So that's when it occurs. And, having said that, also with the divine plan has an certain endpoint that ends it here. However, in between, nothing is written, let's say, um, in every particular or specific way. So it's whatever gets us to the divine plan. And things can change. And one of the things with Femka and I, were given divine instructions, for example, to put the intent to go certain ways, and we do that, and sometimes, no, the divine plan changes, and we are told to go somewhere else or stay put. But getting back to the patience, that's what we must have in this time, for it is the whole planet, the whole society is changing, and that does take time for certain events to be aligned to create the change. So, cause and effect, if you will. So, we are constantly at the same time in a destruction mode and a construction mode. So, as the old and the lower timelines destruct, the new timelines and the creative timelines for humanity is constructed. So both play out at the same time, and this is why I reference a separation of timelines, not just one. So there is two. So the lower density timeline with, let's say, all of your so-called rights being ignored, and some of the ridiculous things that are playing out, which everyone knows in their heart it is morally and ethically at least wrong. They need to play out to awaken the others. So this is a conjoined divine effort and divine plan. And it's not to be the divine plan taken forward by only a few individuals. It takes all of us to do it, and this is the way the divine plan was written. And within each of you that, let's say, play some of the more prominent roles, is the information that's released on divine timing. And this is why it's imperative with the unity. So, with all of the light communities and the unity and the light ones, the quicker that you are all united as one, the quicker that things transpire. For the information, the divine information, is also contained within each one of you. Your contribution, your piece of the puzzle. So the puzzle does not all come together when ones are not all united. And this is why I constantly uh, encourage and emphasize the unity. There are, let's say, indifferences perhaps within some spiritual communities, and separation, and finger pointing, say this one is wrong, don't listen to her, him, this one is right. All of that is it slows everyone down. It takes the unity to come together for the one common goal and what is in your heart. And the separation, if you will, is a tactic of the darkness to keep one separated. And it's a lower density uh, act as well. So, and of course, it is a process and it is a journey. When one's realized that it does take the unity and have these higher eureka moments, then things happen more quickly. And that is happening as one's realize. I'll take myself here for an example. I know what my mission is upon the planet, and I know what I am here to do. I know what all of us are here to do. And however, I am reminded at times it takes all of us to do it. And there are times that I do not act fully on my own accord, for I know there has to be contributions by others to, let's say, set off events or to come together to compile the knowledge and the information for the next shift, the next level. So again, it takes all. And of course, the ego aspect is one of the first things many of you are told to work upon. And the ego is the bad ego, the separating ego. That is what we call the bad ego. You need an ego, which is your identity, which is your divine ego. Without that divine ego and being able to stand in your truth, in your divine entity, nothing goes forward on the planet. You just get swept under the rug, if you will. So it's important for all of you to stand in your divinity, in who and what you are. And at this point, I will say it's perfectly okay, and it is very good and important to have 4 million Mary Magdalenes upon the planet. 4 million Archangel Michaels of light, 4 million Jesuses. It's important to have that. Without it, you all are just human and you succumb to the darkness and the old human ways. You are not human. You're much more than that. And many of you, to your own individual degree and level, has discovered that. You know it. You experienced it. You witnessed it. You know it's true. And no one else can tell you what you are, or who you are not. It is really only you inside that knows who you are and your connection to Creator, the divine plan, and all that is. And having said this as well, many of you know you're not here to be complacent. That creates stagnancy. You're here to grow quickly, and you also discover that there are reasons for that, and that for somewhat there is a mission attached, no matter what it may be. Your mission may be to sit alone in a little cottage and just be a beacon of love and light. That's quite okay. That's what you're to be doing. That is your divine guidance, and it is also your contribution. And any contribution is important. Nothing is really trivial. If you're sitting in a geographical location, in a cottage, just putting out love from your heart, that's divinely what you're supposed to be doing. Everyone affects reality. You affect the energy. And the stronger all become, the more effect you have upon it. So with the divine plan, as we keep shifting higher and higher in vibration and frequency, the more of your divine gifts, your abilities, and your powers come online. You can say your parapsychological powers, your ESPs, whatever term you wish to use, your superhuman powers, your gifts. These are all very true, and you are becoming stronger with them. And the importance of the empath is a very important role as well. You are very gifted to do many things. But as you become stronger as an empath, you also learn more about energy and how to use the energy in the good ways. So you have the experience so that it is imprinted and ingrained, if you will, within your operating consciousness here upon the planet. For the most part, when you are only human, you need to see and experience, to believe, and to instill the trust which eradicates and replaces the doubt. But the trust, when that is instilled, is your power, and it begins to activate more of your divine abilities, and you come to know that you have a stronger effect on reality. And this is also what we're here to do all together, and it's why the unity is important. You are all co-creators that have a very powerful influence upon reality. And nothing stops what we are doing. Nothing stops what you are doing. This is the light. We are here to take humanity out of the savagery, and we're doing one amazing job with it. And it does take time. We need to play the roles and allow the events to play out. But any of you can see by monitoring or observing the lower timeline how ridiculous it has got, that even someone not awake per se can see how it's wrong. And this is all that we need for them to know, and we need them to witness. So they are witnessing what is wrong, they are witnessing the perpetrators, they are witnessing the darkness firsthand. And exponentially, the divine plan is working, it is in play. Now, someone asks, when is it all over? We all love to see it over now. However, things must play out. And also, heaven said that for all of you that are monitoring the lower timeline, you're seeing all of these events that cannot be ignored nor refuted by those asleep. The evidence and the documentation surpasses uh, any let's say any that tries to refute. They cannot. Any that tries to resist the truth, they cannot. It's in their face. It's all around the planet. It's everywhere as they go. The mainstream media cannot hide it any longer. The governments cannot hide it. The dark ones cannot hide it. And I can assure you, all of the minions in the darkness are under the greatest fear they have ever known. But it is through the beauty of their desperate attempts to maintain a control that more are awakened very quickly, and hence the exponential um, transitioning into the new. So it's a beautiful process what is playing out here. And with that, for the human souls, there is no death. That's not what occurs. So I'll stop rambling. Just check, can someone say if the feed is working great? Thank you. So can someone just give me uh, a status of how the feed is going, please? Was everything going well with it so far? Thank you. Ah, thank you, Lee, Robin, Lori, all of you. Great. Okay, so I did that rambling. Thank you all for responding. Any have some quick questions on the divine plan and what's occurring, uh, in the world currently? So we can take a few questions, and I shall not keep this too long. Yeah, stay in the heart, the love, and that is important. And stay in the heart with the love, but also stay in your high, wise consciousness. And you know that the darkness were masters of deceit and trickery. However, you are masters that are infinite, that are above that. So remember that, and you have your wise consciousness. And one of the things I say with this is, don't love the direct darkness. That is not the way to do it. Because as you become a stronger co-creator, when you actually love the darkness, the real darkness, the conscious darkness, what you're actually doing is keeping it into your reality, and what you are also doing is empowering it, and you are also saying that you accept it and that you condone what it's doing. So don't do that, is what I strongly suggest. We know what the darkness is. We know the individuals. We do not accept nor condone their actions or behavior. And we do not accept them in a harmonious, loving world. They do not exist. In no way will we love them into the, the new world. And that's not what we're doing. So, with that, thank you, Conrad, brother. Good to see you. Okay, Robin, a little bit transmute. So thank you. Thank you, Robin. What I wish to also speak at this time about is that upcoming we are going to be anchoring in tighter. I'll give you a demonstration of this. So what we have, this is ground zero. This is uh, your ground outside. This is um, yeah. This is the ground. This is a 5D ley line grid system, the energetic ley line grid system. It is white. It is comprised now with white, pure, divine light. That is the construction of the 5D grid. So between the ground level here and the 5D grid, there are times that it is down in certain places, dependent upon the divine one. It can actually touch and arc the ground level. But overall, some of the closest places where it is almost touching is about, let's say, 20 feet to, what's that, 6 meters above you, where you can see sometimes up here the meshing. But now, around the entire planet, around Terra, uh, Gaia, what we are doing is this is ground zero, this is the 5D grid, which is white light. We are going to be compressing that, hauling that down closer to ground zero. Now, during the course of doing this, what this high, pure, energetic light is going to do, it's going to squeeze and compress the energy, what is on the surface. Now, what is contained within this energy between the 5D and ground zero is the density. It is the energy that is created because of the negativity in the fear. So when we compress this a little bit more, everything has to be revealed and exposed even further than it already is. So you can look at this like putting a squeeze on the darkness as well. And there does come the point of submission with it. Once they are eradicated and the squeeze is over, then it's 5D where there is no darkness. The first echelon of a 5D state of being and existing. So what we will be doing, because again, this is the 5D grid, this is ground zero. So what has occurred since the last time we brought the 5D in? Between the space, a lot of density has gone. A lot has been transmuted by so many of you through the higher heart uh, transmuting process, and also raising the light in areas and clearing the density in your own unique ways. Whatever way you did it is perfectly fine. It worked. So where the space between 5D and the ground level is not as saturated with density as it did before, it is allowing us to compress this more, to give it another squeeze. So we're going to bring the 5D grid, energetic grid, down further. Now, to do this, many of you at ground zero, by being the conduits of the light and standing, are going to connect to the 5D grid with your white light You connect to that grid. You are an energetic electrical being, and what you'll do is be the conduit to anchor it in to ground zero, to Gaia. So this is what we will be doing, and this will be a worldwide, uh, we can say event, but it will be done worldwide to bring the 5D energetic grid system down closer. And the 5D grid is a ley line system that dictates what occurs in reality. So right now you have a 4D uh, fluctuating ley line system that is comprised of negative and positive uh, ions, if you will. So the charges are negative and positive. But what you are doing is going to be bringing down a purified, positive ley line grid system, which dictates what occurs in reality. So for you, those of you that are familiar with ley lines and how they work, that they're actual energetic ley lines that operate on such a frequency and a vibration. So in the past, the old ley line, 3D ley line system was compromised by the darkness through fear events that were practiced on the ley lines, also through the destruction of uh, the electromagnetic resources that were in the planet. They had a charge that kept the above ley line intact and to prevent it from oscillating, from wavering out of control. But with the old 3D grid system, because of the extensive mining and extraction of in situ resources upon the planet like gas, oil, gold, platinum, copper, all of your mining, it diminished the charges. So the 3D ley line system was compromised, and we have been in a fourth dimensional space upon the planet for the most part ever since 2012. So the 3D dimensional space actually vanished in 2012, and it no longer exists on an energetic higher level. You can have it exist in your consciousness, but really it does not exist at all. Okay, thank you for that, Robin. That reminded me of one thing I wanted to say in this live. So I'll have a look, see if there's any more questions there. Meredith, she says, I keep hearing have patience and faith. She says, I'm not fully awake nor freed from the negativity that surrounds. Uh, to assist with your inner work, it's important to just begin to practice, be conscientious of what's occurring with your actions and reactions when you used to act out of old ways of uh, frustration, worry, anger, or fear. Stop. Don't act like that any longer when you're confronted with a like situation. It's when you need to pause and begin to act differently. And this assists with your inner work in your mastery. For example, if someone was angry at you, you stay in a state of calmness and love. So someone angry at you comes toward you, do not get angry and go fight with them. You do the opposite of that. And then with your training for yourself, your mastery, then you begin to have the actual stronger control over the density. So it's about your mastery. And now you have, your negative emotions. Sadness is a negative emotion. Begin to practice to be happy. So always do the highest virtuous thing with your actions and your reactions. So you can begin to train yourself, but also you need to reprogram the operating consciousness you have upon the planet. You had an operating consciousness that was based and controlled with fear. You are now advancing into a higher consciousness where fear based acts and actions and thoughts no longer serve. So you must let those go. And to do that, you must begin to act differently and also to integrate it within your heart. So the first thing to work on is the doubt within you. And it's great to have either creator within you or externally. Both ways are perfectly great. I can tell you and share with you that there is an external creator consciousness that is an entity. It's mother and father. I mostly refer to the father aspect, but I am also part of this. So all of you are connected. And the more that you connect with this source, be it within you in the most moral and ethically and loving way, the more you begin to see more and the quicker you develop. And then you understand how to assist with all of your other comrades in creating the new society, the new reality for humanity, where everyone thrives and is in love and abundance and the way that it should be, the way that you know it should be, the way that is in your heart. So to transition humanity, you are the pioneers, you are the peers, you are the ones to do it. And to do it, you need to own your divine identity. You need to rise above the restrictive states of being like humility. As I mentioned earlier, if you feel and know you are Jesus, stand up and proclaim it and own it. This is how we get it done quicker. So, great. And Robin says, no ego play, no arcs, no hierarchy. You know, with that, we love it to be, yes, all together, all one, but we recognize that there are different levels with this. And no matter how you look at it, well, there is one way when you just look at that you're the universe and all part of it and everything just is, you can do that. However, what you will find by doing that, you will still look outside in your reality and you will still see perhaps bad things occurring upon the planet. You can put the blindfolds on and stay in your reality of just being one with the universe, but it doesn't change the outside. As soon as you take the blindfolds off and look, you'll say, okay, I'm in my universal space that I don't need to do anything. The world should have changed, but it hasn't. So this tells you that there is more to it. And we would not have teachers upon the planet. We would not have ones assisting others, other brothers and sisters, to raise them up by giving them all of the tools to do that. There would not need to be teachers here, but there is. There would not need to be a God outside of oneself, but there is. So anyone can say about a hierarchy. For I, there always is until we all get back to source. And this is the way. So you need a hierarchy, most of you, to know that this is the way back. You know, you can look, you can even use yourself, what you're doing. You are advancing, and all the work you are doing within, you have a direction, you have a hierarchy where you're going towards. This is the reason you're doing all of your work. So you need something forward, a hierarchy to go towards, whether it be the self, whether it be a teacher that can assist to give you the tools, whether it's creator, him, her, herself, whether it's your angelic teams. One's always loved to have this assistance and work all together and share as you are all doing. Thank you. Okay, I'll have a quick look. I see, Robin, you have a lot of things there, comments and questions, or comments and things. I'm just scrolling down here just to see if there's any questions. Yeah. Um, so with the high heart, what I wish to say is, as we go into preparation to anchoring down, uh, tightening the 5D grid, many of you will know as a result, after we do this, or even slightly before it, for those of you that have, I need to just scroll this up, for those of you that have the higher heart activated, that feels the energy in there, one of your indicators that you'll be one that will be transmuting uh, the negativity as we compress it. You will feel your higher heart being prepared to begin to transmute. And the quickest way, again, or one of the most powerful ways to transmute is going into your highest love state, no matter what, and also to your deepest gratitude, and staying in your virtue with it. And if you need to stay in your house or what have you, it's also good to not be around when you're transmuting lower density others. So if you have a divine partner, you know, keep in your love, your intimacy, does assist with transmuting things much quicker. So as long as you know, so I'm saying this now, then you have an idea of what's occurring when you feel this energy in the higher chest, and you feel the queasiness, the uneasiness, the density, then you know consciously right away that you have begun to transmute some of this density as a result of us tightening, bringing down to ground zero the 5D energetics, the 5D grid, the pure white light grid. Thank you. Diana Brewster, she says, Rick, are we to love the ones who took the jabs and pushing others to take also? You know, with that, that's a great question. I would leave that with the individual's discernment on what to do. because there are so many variations in also with tests involved on that. I could answer it generically, but on an individual uh, microscopic level, if you will, there's so many things and lessons that need to be learnt there on an individual level with that. So they need to go through the experiences. Now, for the most part, what we do is, you have family or friends which are loved ones. They might have took the shot. Yes, you keep on loving them. They are souls of light, if you will. And at this point, most of you know what I call our minions, that they don't have a soul, are constructs of the darkness. So, each one uses their own discernment on this. And most of you, perhaps, or all of you, or some of you, have been always strongly suggesting to your loved ones, don't take the jab. However, again, on the soul level, on the individual level, it is the soul's choice. So all you can do, if they are open, is suggest to them not to, but it becomes their choice to do it. But it's not to discriminate uh, against any of your loved ones that take it, but you do need to use your discernment as well and be conscientious of any adverse effects on your electrical uh, natural rhythm and fields. That is important so that so you don't become inundated uh, by some of the things that may occur. So just practice, with prudence and um, practice what you feel is right to do. So on an individual basis, that's what you do with it. And this needs to play out. The whole old lower paradigm thing surrounding this. It is occurring for a divine reason. But what all of you need to know at the end of the day is that the light has already won, that there's a divine plan that is occurring upon the surface, and you know that the light is actually always in control. These are just the last throes of the desperate darkness, and there is no harm they can actually bring to any soul at this point. However, there are let's say, some souls have chosen to be the sacrificial lambs, or whatever you wish to say, to make a point. So uh, the lower timeline with this, it is also assisting uh, the masses to awaken very rapidly. So it's best to look at the whole thing as a divine construct. Have no fear with it, but practice your wisdom and your prudence and your discipline at taking care of your own vessel in the energetics and everything with it. Uh, all of you are no good to the light if you become sick. So it's just common sense. You need to do what you need to for yourself to assure that your vibration, your frequency, your natural electrical rhythm is kept intact, that it's kept calibrated, and that you keep emitting and emanating the positive love and the light that you are. So the more you keep in alignment and keep your space, your energetic field clear, the more powerful you are. And if you don't keep it clear, then you become like a magnet to negativity, and you'll get drained and what have you, and can, experience discomfort. So it's only common sense that you take care of your energetic field, and that's on a individual basis to what one is guided to do. But I mean, I have just pretty much said, and what everyone knows, what I suggest to do. Thank you. Yeah, so Gigi, yeah, Bonnie answered that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm just looking here at a little bit at a comment. It's quite long. What I will say is that many of the symptoms one's had a few weeks back with cold symptoms, you're creating a higher immunity at that time for your organic vessel as we kept going forward. And that was pretty much prevalent throughout the awakened community. And it was cool at that time. Many had, drippy nose, cough, and sinus things, and it was just all part of a widespread immunity that was occurring as well. And I believe at this time we shifted upward about 3 days ago, so most now should not be experiencing any little cold symptoms, if you will. So Kev Strongs asked, is there no hope for vaccinated ones people then? Um, Kevin, no, there's lots of hope. So you need to, at this point, you need to, everyone needs to understand that there is a divine plan playing out here. And with this, of course, a lot of the darkness will be separated from the planet. And, perhaps many, I don't have a number, but should I say, perhaps some at least will be ascending uh, by leaving the physical body behind, which will look like a death process. But there's also others like us um, that are many that are taking the physical body through the ascension process, and nothing deters nor prevents that. So we'll see, and I don't wish to put any uh, numbers on this because also, what's occurring as we keep raising the planetary vibration in frequency, we are entering other dimensional space. For example, uh, if we were to hit that higher dimensional vibration in a second right now, you could see that everyone that is a human soul that has been vaccinated are perfectly okay. So these sort of things, miraculous things can occur. So we don't rule anything out, and it's best as co-creators to think the best for your friends and family and the ones that have been vaccinated that are human souls. And this is the best that anyone can do with it. So no, it doesn't. Many will die, but again, you need to know that many of those that do die are also not human souls, that they are more so part of the separation phase of the darkness, the minions that are being left behind as humanity is ascending with the physical vessel intact. So there's a divine separation process which is also occurring. So it's a little bit more complex than what perhaps would meet the naked eye with it. But everything is divinely assured, and sitting here, the truth is no human soul ever dies. We exist for all time. It's just a matter of ascending different timelines. Thank you. See, there is many that will die, but again, as I said, it's not the human souls that are ascending. With this, upon the planet, there is what I have been given five, almost 6 billion human souls are on the planet. Now, out of the rest of that number, to make up 7.5, 8 billion, are constructs. They do not have souls. They are constructs of the darkness that were growing in vitro in labs and what have you. So with that, they don't have the ability to go forward. The carbon organic um, constructs that they are, it does not have within the DNA the ability to transition into the crystalline. Therefore, they must stay behind to keep it simple. Now, there's also many robotics, there's clones upon the planet, there's cyborgs, so you have actually quite a mix with that. And to the exact number, what's going forward, uh, I don't have that, and I don't think that anyone really does with it. So, great. There is no reincarnation that is occurring. The reincarnation loop was broke in 2015. There was what you would call a false heaven that was set up by the darkness as a soul capture thing, but that was all severed. So if there is no per se reincarnation that is occurring now nor in the future with well just let me get this. Yeah, what's occurring now is the children that you're seeing that are being born, they are very advanced, amazing, ancient souls as well. If you knew exactly right at this time the souls that would wish to get upon the planet to enjoy this most glorious time we are in for humanity, you would be very happy, and that's what's occurring. And when you see one of these crystalline children are born and come into this reality, they're just beaming, and they got they're here for to do very important things. So they have been planted, if you will, for the last, uh, more so the last 23, 27 years. But as we go forward, uh, the younger generations, let's say 17 years old, you'll see more of them. And when you come to more of the babies, children born today, that age group is even bigger than what the teenage group was, because you're having all of these souls that are coming back. Now, also, what you have is that it's not being reincarnated back in the old way, but as you're seeing, let's say it's also the choice of the soul, as you're seeing perhaps loved ones depart with their departing, leaving their old body behind. Some of these are also coming back within the children, and that's what they chose to do. And for us, many of us, this is our last time as a having a human existence, so we do not come back here. If you do, you come back with your full memory intact. So great. Okay, I'm ready to stop this. I say divine timing. I need to use the washroom, and it's all been almost an hour. So what I wish to do is to end this, and at this time, I thank you all so much, and for being here upon the planet at this most glorious, auspicious time, and yeah, every moment, every day, you see we're getting closer and closer. We don't really have a date on it, but we know it's very close now. So kisses, all kinds of winks, and or like the children do sometime when you're teaching them to wink. They'll go two eyes. I love that. That's so beautiful too. So love, light, and gratitude, and yeah, have your higher hearts powered up. Cleanse your energetic fields in preparation for the anchoring in the white light. If there's any of you that will be participating with this, it's good to be prepared. You know it's coming. You know we're going to do it. And you know what to perhaps anticipate with it. So, woohoo! Victory, unity. That's two together is unity. That's all of us. I should say all of us together. So, love, light, and much gratitude, and have a most beautiful morning, day, night, wherever you may be.